and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, and I wanted to ask, what's your opinion on the current state of YouTube boxing?
Well, I think it's such a fantastic medium. I think it's so exciting. You're talking about like fights that are competitive, fights that are sanctioned by governing bodies, and all of that. Like we had a discussion at one point last year around the time of the Social Gloves event,
Hmm.
where we were like, should we be covering this stuff seriously because it's not, quote unquote, real boxing.
Yeah.
But I was basically arguing that it's real boxing in all in every sense of the word. In that you're talking about guys who are very, very, very low level fighters who went and did the medicals, went and did the sanctioning stuff, got themselves ready, and went and competed. So if you were covering a real, let's say a real fight, like let's say you're covering Anthony Joshua, and the first fight of the night, there's some local guy, a young guy, 18 or 19, who's 1-0 or 2-0, and he's fighting a journeyman. And you notice at that point, whoa, people are really interested in this 1-0 guy. You
Hmm.
would cover that guy more because there's like a spike in traffic or whatever. So it's the same for these YouTubers. Like you're talking about fight cards where the first fight of the night, the first fight of the night. Let's look at the Creator Clash recently, right? You've got Matt Watson, who has around 1 million subs,
Yeah.
versus Dad, who has around 500,000. And it's like that would be a main event, follower wise. That would be a main event in most boxing worlds. But it's the first fight of the night in this thing, and so I just kind of I've always had an interest in it because I was always a fan of the Paul brothers beforehand,
Mhm.
like before they were in boxing, and I was writing about other sports and all that. And so when they got into it, I was like, oh, that's perfect. So yeah, it didn't get a lot of respect early on, but I
Yep.
think it's super interesting. And with regards to the state of YouTube boxing, I think it's flourishing. Right, it seems as
Yeah.
if there's more events than ever.
Hmm.
KSI is coming back, Jake's coming back. I'm hearing about other stuff happening as well. Obviously, we have the TikToker event in London on July 16th that looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah. The
I'm hearing
King.
about stuff later in the year. There was a plan for something July 23rd in Dublin, but that's been moved to the end of the year because I think July 23rd is going to be UFC London and Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't like no one would have showed up. And I don't think anyone would have wanted to fight that night either. Like I don't think they were going to get big name fighters to want to compete that night. So they've moved that basically to the end of the year, I think. But it will hopefully happen. And I heard about some big names being on that. And the KSI card is going to be amazing because I think from what I've heard, it's a return back to like KSI versus Logan 1, KSI versus Joe, where it's all
Really.
YouTubers, it's all influencers. That's what I heard. I don't know. Like I only know personally in terms of like insider stuff, I only know of one fight that's definitely on the undercard. But that fight is first off one that nobody will guess in a million years, and secondly, it's two influencers. It's
Oh.
two interesting influencers too, like people who you'd be like, whoa, I wouldn't have expected to see either of those. There's one you would have expected to see at some point, but you wouldn't have expected to see one of them in the UK necessarily. And then there's another guy who's a much bigger like influencer as well, who you'd have gone, whoa, I didn't even know this guy boxed. So uh,
Okay.
that's um, that's going to be interesting. So I think it's never been more vibrant than it is now. Everyone wants to compete. We just had a hugely successful couple of events. The Creator Clash, Showstar, by the way, was a success by every metric. Like financially, they sold a
Yeah.
lot of tickets. They sold a lot of pay-per-views. I think they sold more pay-per-views than the Creator Clash, maybe in or around the same.
But it was also
Um,
$10, right? Like it was
yeah,
very
so it was
cheap.
cheap. So they didn't make as much money, and it wasn't
Yeah.
for charity and all of that. But I
Hmm.
guess like it was, they had set a target and they hit that target, and they comfortably hit that target, and
Okay.
everybody got paid. Everything was good, which obviously in the past has been an issue. So yeah, it's been a good start to the year, and it's going to get a lot bigger towards like later on as we move towards the Jake card, which I have no idea what's happening there. I think Jake is probably going to keep it professional. If I were to guess, I would say if
Probably. Yeah.
Alex doesn't fight KSI, he might get himself a fight on there. But otherwise, he'll keep it to professionals. And then obviously the basketball player and the WWE wrestler are going to fight. I think I know as much as anyone else does about that. But then
Which
the KSI card
WWE
is going to be.
wrestler?
I don't know. That's just what the reports are saying, was that they want to
Really?
get a heavyweight WWE wrestler. That's literally what they said. They didn't say a name, but that's what they were talking about,
Oh.
was getting. It would be great if it was one of the guys from it'd be great if it was someone who's like recent and relevant and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, that's what I heard. Like I heard that from the same reports that everyone else gets. I don't like have any behind the scenes knowledge on this
Okay.
card,
Okay.
but I think yeah, obviously I'd imagine Ashton Silva will be on the card. Amanda Serrano won't, because they're hoping to get her to fight Katie in September, ideally in a rematch.
Yeah.
But that's looking like it might be Holly Holm now. So basically, to answer your question, I'm giving you long-winded, annoying answers. But to answer your question, I'm very impressed with the state of YouTube boxing. I think it's only going to get bigger throughout this year.